Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we are going to talk about something that has probably happened to every single person listening to this right now. I want you to picture this scenario. You've just finished a long, exhausting day at work. You've been sitting at your desk, you finally get home, and you collapse onto the couch to relax. A couple of hours go by, you decide to stand up to grab a glass of water from the kitchen, and suddenly, pop. Or maybe you are at the gym, you're feeling great, you load up the bar, you lower yourself into a deep squat, and right at the bottom, your knees sound like a bowl of Rice Krispies. Snap, crackle, pop. Let's be honest, when you hear that sound, what is your immediate reaction? For most of us, it's a sudden wave of anxiety. You freeze. You think, did I just break something? Is my knee giving out on me? Am I officially getting old? We immediately associate that loud cracking noise with damage. But I am here to tell you that you are not alone, and more importantly, you might be worrying for absolutely no reason. Joint noises, especially in the knees, are incredibly common, but the sheer volume of that sound can be genuinely alarming. So today, we are going to answer the ultimate question. Is that popping sound in your knee joint a dangerous warning sign that means you need to rush to the doctor, or is it just a perfectly normal quirk of the human body? Let's take a journey inside the mechanics of your knees to find out exactly what is going on. The symphony of the knee. First things first, let's get the medical jargon out of the way. In the medical world, doctors use a specific umbrella term for all the clicking, popping, grinding, and snapping sounds your joints make. That word is crepitus. To really understand why crepitus happens, we need to take a quick look under the hood. I want you to appreciate just how amazing your knee actually is. It is the largest and arguably the most complex joint in your entire body. It's a major intersection. You have three massive bones meeting up: your femur, the thigh bone, your tibia, the shin bone, and the patella, your kneecap. Now, if bone rubbed directly on bone, we'd be in agonizing pain every time we took a step, so nature gave us these brilliant, slick, shock-absorbing pads of cartilage called the meniscus. Holding this whole structure together is a complex, tight web of ligaments and tendons. And finally, the entire joint is bathed in this thick, lubricating liquid called synovial fluid. Think of it like motor oil for your knees. With all of these moving parts supporting your entire body, fighting gravity every single day, it is really no wonder that the knee occasionally protests and makes some noise. The incredible news here? The vast majority of the time, crepitus is completely benign. It is harmless. When the pop is perfectly normal. Let's establish the golden rule of joint popping right now. If your knees pop, click, or crack, but you feel absolutely zero pain, you can take a deep breath and relax. It is normal. Physiologically speaking, there are two main reasons your perfectly healthy, fully functioning knees might be making a racket. Number one, the bubble burst. Imagine your knee joint as a tightly sealed capsule filled with that synovial fluid we just talked about. As you go about your day, naturally occurring gases in your body, like oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide, can build up inside this fluid. They form tiny microscopic bubbles. When you sit for a long time and then suddenly stand up, or when you bend your knee deeply, you are rapidly changing the pressure inside that sealed knee joint capsule. That sudden pressure shift causes those little gas bubbles to burst. The result? A loud, distinct, and sometimes shocking pop. Listen, this is the exact same mechanism that happens when people crack their knuckles. It's a process called cavitation. It is completely harmless. You aren't grinding your bones, you aren't tearing anything, and those gases just peacefully dissolve back into the fluid over time. Number two, the snapping tendons. Remember those tendons and ligaments we talked about? As you move, they have to stretch and glide over the bones. Sometimes, depending on the angle of your leg, a tendon might shift just slightly out of its natural groove. As you straighten your leg out, that tendon snaps back into its proper place. Think of it like pulling back and releasing a tight guitar string. It creates a pronounced clicking or snapping noise. You might even feel a little physical sensation, a little thump as it slides over the bone. But again, as long as it doesn't hurt, this is just normal mechanical shifting. I want to pause here because there's a psychological trap a lot of people fall into. It's called kinesiophobia, the fear of movement. People hear their knees pop, they get scared, and they stop running. They stop squatting. They stop taking the stairs. They think they're preserving their joints. But in reality, joints don't have their own blood supply. They get their nutrients through movement. When it comes to a painless pop, remember this phrase: motion is lotion. Keep moving. The red flags. When should you worry? Now, I want to balance this out. While a painless pop is just your body's background noise, sound that is accompanied by other symptoms is your knee's way of sounding the fire alarm. If your knee popping is paired with any of the following 4 red flags, it is time to stop trying to push through it and go see a physical therapist or an orthopedic doctor. Sharp, aching, or shooting pain. This is the most obvious differentiator. Pain means tissue is actively being irritated, pinched, or damaged. Normal bubble popping does not hurt. Swelling. If your knee balloons up, feels warm to the touch, or looks visibly puffy after you hear a pop, that is a clear sign of inflammation or excess fluid buildup due to a structural injury. Locking or catching. This is a big one. If your knee makes a sound and suddenly feels stuck at a certain angle, like you physically cannot straighten it out or bend it all the way, that means something solid, like a piece of torn cartilage, is literally wedged in the joint hinge. Instability. If the pop makes your knee feel like it's going to buckle, give way, or collapse under your weight, that strongly points toward a ligament issue. If you have pain with the popping, what could it be? It could be a meniscus tear, often caused by a sudden, forceful twist of the knee. It could be osteoarthritis, where the sound is less of a sharp pop and more of a gritty, grinding noise because the cartilage has worn down over the years. Or it could be runner's knee, where muscle imbalances pull your kneecap out of alignment, making it grind against the bone beneath it. And of course, the most famous and painful pop in sports is an ACL tear, which is violent, painful, and immediately stops you in your tracks. How to silence the squeaks and protect your knees. So how do we take care of our knees? Whether your popping is a harmless annoyance or you just want to prevent future injuries, there are highly effective things you can do starting today. First, strengthen the support system. Your knee joint is entirely at the mercy of the muscles surrounding it. If your quadriceps in the front, your hamstrings in the back, and your glutes in your hips are weak, your knee joint takes all the impact. By strengthening those muscles, you build a robust muscular shock absorber. Strong legs equal quiet, happy knees. Second, stretch it out. Tight muscles pull joints out of alignment. If your quads are incredibly tight from sitting all day, they will literally pull your kneecap up and grind it into your thigh bone. Regular stretching, yoga, or foam rolling can significantly reduce that pressure and friction. Third, be mindful of the physics of weight. This is just biological reality. The physics of the human knee are unforgiving. Did you know that when you walk up or down the stairs, the force on your knees is equivalent to roughly 4 to 5 times your body weight? Managing your body weight is one of the kindest things you can do to reduce mechanical wear and tear on that cartilage. And lastly, check your shoes. Never underestimate the impact of what you put on your feet. Shoes with good arch support and cushioning absorb the shock of the ground before that shock travels up your shin and into your knee joint. So, the final verdict. What is the final verdict? In the vast majority of cases, that startling popping, cracking, or snapping sound in your knee is nothing more than harmless gases escaping or tendons shifting. It is perfectly normal. It is a part of being a moving, breathing human being, and it is absolutely not a reason to stop living an active life. However, your body is an excellent communicator. Don't ignore it when it speaks up. If that pop brings pain, swelling, or weakness along for the ride, get it checked out. Catching a minor issue early is the best way to keep moving pain-free for decades to come. Keep moving, stay strong, and don't let the noise scare you.